Yeah, so with this Jamahal Hill and Alex Pereira officially being announced as the main event for UFC 300, and for all the hype that was being built for this card, how do you guys rate this fight for the biggest spot on what we were told is going to be the biggest card of the year? And I don't necessarily want your ratings on the card itself. We'll do that another time. I'm thinking maybe we'll do like here in the next week or so, because there's still one fight to be announced.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we'll do like a full card rating segment or video here in the next week or two. I just want to know your thoughts on this matchup being in the main event spot, because I don't think anyone would argue it's a great fight and it's going to be fireworks and electric. But did this UFC 300 main event announcement of Hill versus Pereira deliver or underwhelm to what you thought the main event was going to be?
It underwhelmed me, but man, I was thinking about it a lot last night. I don't know how much of that is because it's just genuinely that much of an underwhelming fight, or because I was victim of that, just putting so much stock into what I wanted from this main event. It wouldn't have mattered who we put in there. I would have been like, nah, the expectations were just so high. I don't know if they could have done a better one, you know?
I think if Dana White could go, like, seeing how this all turned out, if he could go back, if he just didn't say all the, it's a super fight, you guys, we're going to flip the whole world of MMA on its head. And like, if he could go back and not say those things and just say, hey, we're working on it, there's a lot of moving parts, I think the excitement level probably doubles, because this is a great fight. Something that I don't think anybody's going to be mad to see, especially, as we thought, like, man, maybe this is, especially doing it after a long night already, doing it on Instagram and then kind of covering some other details later in the post fight. It's like you just like kind of killed all the momentum built up to it. Now people are going to have to kind of rebuild it as they do their promotion for it.
You guys are both spot on with how I thought. I think anything, honestly, outside of Conor McGregor was just always going to be a letdown for us fans, or maybe like a return of Khabib or something crazy. And part of that falls on the UFC and Dana White, who, as you guys said, have really just been hyping this card up since last year.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like something that just in the last couple of weeks we've been getting fed or hyped up
when they
for.
said 98 and 99, they're like, yeah, but wait for 300.
Well, and then they've just drawn this whole announcement out, which has only built the anticipation because we thought they were working on something big, and that falls on them for clearly not having a plan. And I think that's what this is the most telling part of this, or they just weren't able to put the fight together that they wanted to, because as you said, John, the announcement to me just seems like we just didn't get the big one done. I mean, it was very unceremoniously announced after the fight on Dana's social media, where I would say he even looked less than hyped about the fight himself or announcing it. And I think if this was really the big fight that they wanted, we would have seen some more investment in the announcement itself. I mean, you have your audience watching the pay-per-view. Why do you not have some big video package or promo during the UFC 298 broadcast? Or even if you wanted to announce after the fight still, you don't want to take the thunder from the pay-per-view, why wasn't Dana on ESPN to make this big announcement or something? To me, it just feels like this is just another great fight on an already stacked card. But I believe Dana, at one point, John, I think you said that this was going to be a super fight, or that they were working on that. And this, for me, this just isn't that, at least by my definition or understanding of what a super fight should be and what it should signify. So now we're just kind of in this spot where it seems like this was just the next best thing.
Well, and to take it another step further, during 298, they announced 301 is going to be in Brazil and Rio.
And that to me,
you don't have a bigger fight for a Brazilian champion too, unless you're saving Pantoja for that.
That's got to be the only, because the only thing that seems logical to me at this point is if you throw Pantoja into that fight, but. I mean, they
don't even have a person ready.
But yeah, because it's like, I mean, I'm not insane. I'm just throwing two names out there. But like, how weird would it be to do like Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya in Brazil and Rio? Like, that just doesn't really make sense. And you only got two Brazilian champions, right? Pantoja and Pereira. So, it's just very odd to me. And I, like I said, I will fight to the death and say that I think this fight was supposed to be on 301, and whatever was their idea fell apart, and it's like, we got to do something.
Well, and the rumors were also that Jamahal Hill wouldn't be ready by 300. That's why it'd get moved to 301, or they were looking at maybe Alex and somebody else at 300. But money talks, and it was funny, I sent it to the foreshadowing of, they put the camera on Jamahal Hill last night, and he says, I'm back. Yeah. And, it's kind of one of those things like, oh, he's there. But then obviously now to see the announcement kind of puts it into perspective.
Yeah.